BNCE British Superbike Championship 2016 here at Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. Luke Mossey is the man who starts from pole position for the first time in his career. Can he become the 5th different winner of the season so far? Let's find out as we cross to our commentary team and join the company of James Whittam and Jack Bernacle. Over to you, chaps.
On the 90th anniversary of racing in this beautiful corner of Kent, when it was first used as a cycle racetrack in 1926. 2 years later, motorcycles used it as a scrambles track, and by the mid-30s, 30,000 crowds would come and regularly see grass track racing around here. They tarmacked it in 1950, and we've had massive crowds here ever since. This 1.9-mile circuit, of course, is an absolute head spinner. 30 laps for the British Superbike guys, with lap speeds of around 45 to 46 seconds. And that means that they do come across back markers. There's all sorts of complications for the 26 riders on the grid. We've lost Jack Kennedy and Jakob Spurt to injuries through crashing at Graham Hill Bend in the background there during qualifying. But we still have 26 riders on a packed grid, headed by Luke Mossey. The championship, of course, is headed by Christian Idden on the Tyco BMW. That 14-point advantage could have been 24 with another couple of tenths of a second at Holton Park, as he's pointed out, but he's been on the rostrum every time without yet race winning. Shane Byrne in second place on 58 points. Michael Laverty 2 points further back is a race winner. Leon Haslam also on 52 points in 4th place. Jason O'Halloran lies 5th for Honda Racing ahead of Richard Cooper. And just below that red line, that vital red line for the top 6, we've got James Ellison, Peter Hickman, Lee Jackson and Luke Mossey. Behind Mossey, we've got Dan Linfoot running in 11th place for Honda Racing. Glenn Irwin in 12th. Jack Kennedy, sadly out of the racing this weekend for Team WD-40, is 13th ahead of Alistair Seeley, who became a record breaker at the Northwest 200 just a week ago. The grid looks like this. Luke Mossey on pole position for the Quattro Plant Tech Care team ahead of James Ellison and Shaky Byrne. He got that pole position absolutely at the last moment. Michael Laverty on row 2 alongside Richard Cooper and Tommy Bridewell Suzuki. And then all the H's on row 3. Haslam, Hopkins, O'Halloran on Kawasaki, Yamaha and Honda. And the 4th row, Peter Hickman, Christian Idden, the championship leader, struggling a bit for those last 2 tenths of a second, and Danny Buchan. On pole position, can he convert it for the first time into a race win? That is Luke Mossey, number 12. Alongside him, number 77 was the race winner, the double race winner here at the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit just 12 months ago, James Ellison, many people's pre-race favourite. This is going to be one hectic 30-lap race here. The first race of the afternoon for BSB, Brands Hatch Indy. What a start, terrible start for Shane Byrne, perfect start for James Ellison. Shaky Byrne goes back into the pack by a long way. James Ellison leads the drop down and over Paddock Hill, up Halewood Hill. What a perfect start for the JG Speedfit Kawasaki. And tried to retake a bit of space there, and clipping his way through to second place comes the pole setter Luke Mossey.
Yeah, I think Luke Mossey's gone out of the pace at least to sit behind Ellison and maybe make a stab early on. I'm not just too sure what's going to happen late on for Luke.
Number 47, Richard Cooper, cuts through into 3rd place. So the build-based BMW making a bright start, perhaps inspired by that performance of Taylor Mackenzie's. And Tommy Bridewell in 3rd place for the Halsell Racing Bennett Suzuki team.
Yeah, Bridewell loves it here, loves the place. It's as well as he's qualified all year, and he says the bike's good here.
So the leaders then, as they cross the line for the first time, Ellison, Mossey, Cooper, Bridewell, Laverty in 5th, Haslam, Hopkins and Hickman, O'Halloran 9th, Lindenfoot 10th, Idden, championship leader, back in 11th place, knowing that it's a bit of a kind of loss-making exercise for him here. He's just got to do the best he can.
Yeah, from where he was on the grid, unless you make a blinding start and get past the 2 rows or 3 rows in front of you straight away, it's not happening.
Great look at that great truckload of riders. Billy McConnell's in there. Yeah, 15th place, Shaky Byrne.
I was just going to say Byrne's out in 15th. And he didn't just make a bad start, he continued to get dragged back into the mire as he went in around Paddock Hill and up into Druids.
and he's behind his rookie teammate Glenn Irwin.
Not for long, I'm thinking. Although Glenn's been really good round here. He's been compared to, that's Bridewell.
He cuts through inside Richard Cooper, so Bridewell confidently moves through into third place. For how long? Richard Cooper tries to retake him into Druids and does so. Neat and tidy, the Nottinghamshireman. He cuts back inside Tommy Bridewell, and right behind Bridewell you've got Laverty, and here comes the pocket rocket, Leon Haslam, making his return from World Superbikes on bike number 91.
Yeah, Leon's not been happy all the way through every track session they've had. He's not had the feeling he wants. The weight transference isn't good. He hasn't got the front feeling. He has gone for a harder front tyre. There's Mossy and Haslam on the harder option front tyre. Everybody is on the softer front, and everybody on the grid is on the soft rear, the zero.
So do you think that difference in front could work to their advantage later in the race?
Yeah, and Haslam works the front really hard. He's always been a kind of a feature of his riding.
So Ellison just ahead of Luke Mossy. Richard Cooper looking really comfortable after that exhilarating second race win at Alton Park. He's holding that third place ahead of Bridewell. This is the best showing yet, of course, for the Bennett's Racing Suzuki team, who lost Yuichi Kianari. Another man lost from the grid when he crashed and broke his collarbone on Friday. So BSB race 1 already onto the fourth whirlwind lap here at Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. There is Shaky Byrne getting the better of his teammate Glenn Irwin. Oh, and someone's gone off big time in front of them. Big high side. Oof, dear me.
Was that
I think that was Buchan.
It's Danny Buchan. Danny Buchan.
So Danny Buchan, the 6'3" Essex boy, chucks away the Lloyd's British Motor Rapido Ducati in style.
Yeah, that was a classic high side. Have a look, here we go.
These guys did well to avoid it, James.
Yeah, and do you know do you know what caused that? I mean, what caused it was him opening the throttle and the rear losing grip, but it's just as the track's dropping away, and the other angle you saw, but it just give you a graphic indication just how much that track drops at that point. That means you've not as much weight on the wheels, you've not as much grip, and off it's gone.
Look at Ellison here, James. He's on the limit. Look at that.
Yeah. And it looks like that straight, and I don't want to call it a straight anymore. In my day it was. Now with the much power these bikes have got, it isn't a straight. You're cranked over the whole way down to start and finish straight. But there's a big undulation there. The bike drops in, then reappears from it and wants to wheelie because it's still accelerating really hard at that point.
Danny Buchan, what an extraordinary illustration of the protective strength of crash helmet and leathers these days, James, because that was a huge impact.
He landed on his shoulder and on his back, and all these guys have got back protectors, and they've got every joint, shoulders, knees and elbows, all got crash panels in the leathers.
James, look how settled the number 12 Kawasaki looks compared to James Ellison. It looks really settled. He looks very confident and relaxed round here, the man in second place, Mossy. Yeah, I think Mossy's getting really good pit signals, because I think he's been told that there's not so much danger at the minute from behind, so he's just able to sit and watch and just glean a little bit. Although there, he hoping to do is he was having a little bit of a look at the inside of Ellison there. Number 91, Leon Haslam, making progress as picked his way past his teammate Peter Hickman, as the two leaders go through Graham Hill Bend. So the two Kawasaki's leads the Bill-based BMW and the Bennett Suzuki. Laverty in fifth, Haslam, Hickman, Hopkins, O'Halloran and Dan Linfoot round out the top 10 ahead of the championship leader Idden. Shaky Byrne through to 12th place, set his fastest lap of the race on the last lap. These are the leaders crossing the line. And here comes Bridewell, that same impeccable move that he made a couple of laps ago on Richard Cooper. Oh, and this is Mossy. He's gone wide, but he's taken Ellison with him. Ellison just came off the ball there. You know, when somebody passes you, it's easy to get you get target fixation, and you just got dragged a little bit wide with Mossy then. Tommy Bridewell looks like the man here. He's got past Richard Cooper. He's made that pass stick. He's got a little bit of open track. He's seen the Kawasaki's run wide at Druids, and suddenly he's very happy with that. They've done a test at the Anglesey circuit with the Bennett Suzuki team. He feels very happy with the Suzuki now. Let's check the lap times as we cross the line. And it's 46.0, 46.2, 45.8 for Bridewell. Fastest man on track. Laverty also quick in the 45s. Oh dear, choose your lines.
Yeah,
that's number 4, Dan Linfoot, and he gets past the Pay Me Yamaha of John Hopkins.
Yeah, the 2 Hondas and the Yamaha there.
And the championship leader in that green, yellow and orange helmet, the distinctive helmet of Christian Iden there, and behind him, Shaky Byrne, the 4-time champion. So Shaky on that bellowing 1200cc Suzuki Ducati. It's closing the gap.
Yeah, you can be forgiven for that. He has ridden Suzukis, but then again, he's ridden most everything in his long and illustrious career as Shane Byrne. Shane Byrne, he's going quicker than the group in front. He's definitely catching him.
Yeah, but he rode Suzuki in about 1998, James. Here we go. Look, this is a move from Iden. Iden gets the better of the vastly experienced John Hopkins. The Californian gets squeezed back out of the top 10. No, he doesn't. He squeezes himself back again.
It's never over until it's over.
Especially when you that paddock to Druids section.
Yeah, because if you make a move on the inside into paddock, then you typically run wide, and that allows somebody else to square it up and get quicker up the hill into Druids. Oh, that's Jenny Tinmouth, and I think
James Rispoli.
Yeah.
James Rispoli, I think we might have another, there might be 3 bikes down here. Oh dear, they've managed to get that well wrong. Oh, Rispoli's hurt himself, and he has been knocking himself about, the man from Florida, since the beginning of the season. Meanwhile, Luke Mossey leads the way. He's got that tiny advantage, but you can see that Bridewell and Cooper are closing the gap, and so too 5th place Laverty. And we think the Gearlink Kawasaki of Vito Iannuzzo has been involved as well. The safety cars come out.
They've got to be really careful and make a decision really early off race control here, because you've only got a 45-second lap, so you've not much time to get anything cleared up or even assessed before the bike's around on you again.
And it's there's Jenny Tinmouth from Ellesmere Port, the only lady in the race. She was involved in that conundrum there. So too, sadly, Vito Iannuzzo, the smiling Italian former European Superstock 1000 champion from back in 2002. And the Gearlink Kawasaki. Well, so and he's being attended to at the moment.
I'll tell you what, he's been stretched up a few times as Iannuzzo at...
well, he's been stretched off here, mate.
I'm just going to say, here, he's not been a good circuit for him. No. In any class he's been in, World Championship level, mostly.
He's up. That's a relief to see the stocky figure of Vito Iannuzzo up on his feet. In his Jimmy 8 Scott leathers, they've protected him now. So this is what happened, James.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Here we are.
Iannuzzo goes up the inside.
Oh! Jenny was looking for...
Yeah, but you cannot... You can't fully blame Jenny for that. The door was wide open there for her.
And then Rispoli didn't know she was there, came back in, and the collision occurred.
I've got to say, you've got to respect Jenny for getting stuck in there. She saw an opportunity and went for it.
Good lass. I couldn't quite see how Vito Iannuzzo got involved in that. Did he get clipped from the back?
He must have done, because my eye was taken by Jenny going up the inside of Rispoli there.
Good to see Jenny behaving that aggressively amongst the men. Well done, lass.
I'm not sure James Rispoli would agree with that.
Look, let's...
Yeah, he's gone wide as Iannuzzo. Let's have a look. Oh,
he just gets touched.
Yeah.
Oh, that clip was enough to fling him off. And of course, those are the unexpected ones are the ones that hurt, James.
Generally, yeah. Now then, safety car is in this lap. The lights are out.
That Luke Mossey, number 12, can control the pace here because he decides when they can go. He can't be overtaken before the finishing line. James Ellison's left it. He's kind of controlled everybody else. And then he's made a little bit of a surge there.
That's why.
And he's trying to get a run on Luke Mossey as they come streaming round the Clark curve. Now, massive slide for Ellison.
That was plan A, just failing slightly of Ellison's there.
So we're already at a virtual half distance here. Onto the 14th lap of 30 they go. We've lost 3 more riders, so they're down to about 23 or 22 on track at the moment. These are the race leaders, with Luke Mossey looking for that maiden race victory for Pete Exton's team. And second place for James Ellison, the double race winner here just a year ago. Bridewell third.
The danger man, you just mentioned him, before the safety car came out, was Bridewell. He'd been quicker than the 2 riders in front of him, Mossey and Ellison, for the last couple of laps before the safety car.
Shake Byrne in 12th place, but now, of course, he's only 3.7 seconds behind the leaders because everything's concertinaed with the safety car out. A head-shaking number 12, Luke Mossey, with James Ellison just taking a peek. Himself, of course, Ellison, a former double European Superstock 1000 champ.
Yeah.
So Ellison, the 34-year-old from Cumbria, now living around Leicester Way, just behind Luke Mossey from Royston and Cambridge.
That European Stock 1000 Championship was won by Brits just about every year, the first 3 or 4. It was 750s at the beginning of that championship, and it kind of went unnoticed. Nobody ever knew that Brits were just winning it every year. Burns, there were Harris, there was all, and Ellison. They all sort of got championship wins, but nobody ever kind of realised it.
Number 12, Luke Mossey, former 125 star, former Catalan 125 GP
Ellison
champion.
got a good run then.
He did, but it is enough. He's surely going to challenge up the inside. But that huge swooping line of Luke Mossey's works.
He has got swooping lines, but really clean lines. You watch him at Druids. If there's somebody behind him, he defends. But if there's not, he drops it a little bit wide, mid-corner, and then just cuts it right back. More exaggerated than that if he'd got a lap when there's nobody behind him.
Number 47, Richard Cooper, thrilling second race winner at Alton Park when he got squeezed back to second place on the final corner and still outdid Christian Hidden.
Yeah, he's had a right go at me, though, as Richard Cooper. I know Richard really well. He comes and instructs on my track days. I'm a good mate of his, and he says, you said that you wanted me to win because I wouldn't win another. And I'm going to... He's fallen out me slightly.
The sunshine, well, momentarily bathing them as they come through clearways. Look at this, the head-shaking Ellison does get through this time.
Did you see both bikes moving around, sliding, both riders keeping the throttle pinned, though?
And they're up to, remember, they're up to 170 miles per hour through the speed trap there in 5th gear.
Yeah, but
it's terrifying pace.
It is here because the bike's on its side, and then you've got to get the thing stopped for Paddock Hill. Look at that, both bikes are on the wheel, though. See that?
Yeah.
And that's at 170 miles an hour with the throttle wide open, and the bike's still accelerating at that point.
And the Suzuki looking very stable behind them.
Yep.
And in fact, look at this. On that last lap, Bridewell 45.8. Mind you, they all did 45 8s and 9s, so they're very, very close. But look at this. Bridewell moving in on the back wheel now of Luke Mossey.
Bridewell will fancy some of this. Bridewell's a rider who rides on kind of...
That's not going to work! Oh, dear me. It has worked. He's absolutely out-muscled Mossey then. What a frightening move.
That was a frightening move. Because they were both got a culpable there. They both didn't want to give any ground, and that could have ended in just one touch at that speed, and it can end in tears.
James, they're doing virtually the ton as they tip into there. That's absolutely scary.
Yeah, when you're talking about speeds that we're talking about with these bikes, 100 miles an hour doesn't seem that quick, but when you're barreling down the road, end over end, and ended up in the trees, it's fast.
So that's given Tommy Bridewell second place, and of course that kind of riposte has just allowed a bit of breathing space for Ellison. Ellison, the only member of the JG Speedfit Kawasaki team not to have won a race yet, with Hickman winning at Silverstone and Haslam winning at Alton Park.
He asked us, please, if we would have mentioned that, because I forgot to tell you. He didn't want jinx in there.
Right, I'll just take that back, James. Rewind 30 seconds if we could. It's Ellison, Bridewell, Mossey, Cooper, Haslam, Laverty 6th, Hickman is 7th, O'Halloran, the leading Honda, is 8th ahead of his teammate Dan Linfoot.
In fairness there to Bridewell, who went up the side of Mossey at Paddock Hill, it was a harsh move. Mossey didn't want to give ground. That's what made it quite dangerous. The pair of them still wanted to be first into the corner. However, this is such an intense little, quite scary little track. You've got to almost take a risk to get past. It's difficult to be clean round here.
Richard Cooper is living absolutely with these guys, and behind them, although he's not enjoying the best of weekends, Leon Haslam determinedly sticking in 5th place.
Ellison just backing it into Druids there in a big way. You've got to be careful when you're doing that, because you can't turn it into the corner until the back end comes in line with the front, and you've got to time it so that it does when you want to throw it in.
We're already on to the 20th lap of 30. There's the race leader. There's the battle for rostrum places. Tommy Bridewell, debut victory at Cadwell Park in 2014, won again at Alton Park last year. So his race victories don't exactly come in great number in British Superbikes, but when he's on a day like this, he's electrifyingly fast.
And he loves this place.
Crossing the line, Ellison, Bridewell, the gap is 0.597, and there's a move from Richard Cooper, squeezes past the lanky figure of Luke Mossey. So the pint-sized man from Nottinghamshire, number 47, white van driver Richard Cooper is through into 3rd place.
I'm going to have to eat my words, I think.
Haslam's now very keen to find a way past the Quattro Plant Tech Care Kawasaki as well. Gap back to 6th place Michael Laverty, who won here, remember, at the final, on the Grand Prix circuit at the final round of 2015. And then Peter Hickman, Jason O'Halloran, Dan Linfoot, Iden Byrne not making any ground really. He's in 11th place, just in front of John Hopkins and Glenn Irwin. Yeah, around here you can soon get held up behind a slow rider, get involved in a battle, and then before you know it, the people in front of you have gone. Oh, another. Yeah, that's all right. Nah, that's cleaner. And Mossy gave a little bit more room there to Haslam. Leon Haslam, you can see he's got a yellow caution sticker on his right boot there, James, on the back of his right boot, because people have been slightly objecting to the fact he dangles that foot sometimes. He does, yeah, but you know, around this place, there isn't many right-handers to dangle it anyway, and it's too intense. You haven't got time to take your foot off and get it back on. It's just one corner to another round. It's all action. These guys at the front have ridden, I don't want to jinx them, James, but an impressively secure race so far. Yeah, all of them on the limit, but safe. There's been no silly stuff. There's been the odd slide, the odd spinning up, the odd wobble, but nothing much. Ellison's last lap time, 46.03 against 46.09 for Bridewell. All of them very, very evenly matched. The quicker one was Haslam with a 45.84. Yeah, but Haslam's clipped through. He's got the traffic to deal with, but he's still coming on. Shaky Burns moved past championship leader Christian Iden into Paddock Hill Bend, and he is now into the top 10. The fastest laps will, of course, determine the grid positions for the second race. Luke Mossy currently back on pole ahead of Richard Cooper and James Ellison. The second row would be Bridewell, Byrne and Haslam. Leon Haslam taking a huge wide line as he comes through clearways, completing the 23rd of 30 laps. That's just 5, 6, 7 even laps to go. I mean, that's never were very strong. Yeah, Leon Haslam looks like he's losing time at clearways, but it fires him onto the start and finish really quick, and he almost bridged the gap between Mossy, who was right up his bum coming out of clearways, and Haslam was behind Cooper by the time they got to Paddock Hill. And Haslam is really beginning to peck away at the back of Richard Cooper's BMW, then the red and white BMW number 47 of Richard Cooper right behind him, the hugely experienced Leon Haslam. First national championship he won as a 14-year-old on a scooter way back when. Yeah, and he's going to fight for a rostrum as well. I think that Leon Haslam would see a rostrum in this race as a real kind of victory. Ellison's still comfortable, although his gap just shrinking a fraction on that lap, down to 0.4 of a second. Yeah. But he's got 6 laps to go to fend off his pursuers. That was Shaky Byrne going through. Glenn Irwin running in 13th place behind John Hopkins. There is Shaky, and he's closing the gap now on Dan Linfoot and Jason O'Halloran, the two Hondas just ahead of him. Christian Iden just behind him, and then John Hopkins. There's Hopper ahead of Glenn Irwin, number 2. And also Stuart Easton having a better ride at James, the pint-sized Scotsman running in 14th place on the blue Yamaha. Yeah, it's sad to say that 14th is the best, seen a bit better ride from him, but it is the case. He's been a bit out of sorts this year, as Easton, so far. Look how perfectly balanced the Suzuki is. He's closing the gap. Here comes Haslam trying to move inside Cooper. Cooper's refusing to let go. Haslam's making him let go. Cooper tries to hang on round the outside. Not quite. While all that was going on, did you see Bridewell was out of the seat as well? He got a really big slide at the top of the hill as it drops away. And that was... And that was Ellison. I was going to say, until that huge moment for Bridewell, he'd really closed the gap on the race leader. Yeah, he's still got a chance. It wasn't a huge one. It was just a slide. Actually, I might have exaggerated that a bit, to be honest. There. Hang on. Well, I was there from behind, I can assure you. Up Haywood Hill underneath the Pirelli Bridge and back out again, all ready to complete that lap. And this group is constantly clawing back the race leader, but just not quite by enough. It's still 0.4 of a second advantage. Isn't it amazing how 0.4 of a second looks quite big round this track? Yeah, last lap actually Ellison was a little bit quick at it, and all Ellison can do is just watch his signals. He'll know where everybody is, he'll know that it isn't a big enough gap to relax, but again, if he hits his marks, doesn't make any mistakes, then it's a big gap to bridge for the riders behind. At the moment, Christian Idden and Shane Byrne, relatively downfield, are the championship leaders. Michael Laverty lies third in the championship. Leon Haslam fourth, could do himself a power of good with a decent finish here. And he looks as if he's going to get at least a rostrum finish in third place. He could even close the gap on Tommy Bridewell as they cross the line. It's 27 laps complete, 3 to go, and it's all going to happen in the next 3 laps. Bridewell, Suzuki still there in second place. Haslam hanging a leg out on the brakes as they go up the hill. Yeah,
you know that Haslam's going to stick his neck out here to get second. He's looking for every opportunity now. Sliding coming out of Druids. No one sliding again. It's everywhere.
That's Ron Haslam and his daughter-in-law Ollie there, watching anxiously from the, well, coolly actually, from the JG Speedfit garage. And Richard Cooper's not out of this yet. He's closed back on Leon Haslam. But Haslam's strong here as he powers out of clearways. Look at the gap he pulls.
Yeah, he just gets a lot of drive out of clearways, does Haslam.
So Kawasaki, we've got Kawasaki, Suzuki, Kawasaki, BMW, the top 4, followed by Luke Mossey, Michael Laverty, fighting over 5th place.
Great ride for Bridewell and the Suzuki team. The household Suzuki team is just what they needed. This is.
Oh, look. The lovely Sarah Ellison, wife of James, the American wife of James Ellison, praying it's going to be a victory for her husband.
He's doing enough at the minute. He's not making any mistakes, and that's what'll win him it. Because it doesn't look a big gap, but here, every little fraction of a tenth counts.
He's lapping consistently, 46.1, 46.1, 46.1, lap on lap, and that's proving enough. James Ellison then, into the last lap. Last lap he had an advantage of 0.418. Haslam makes a move on Tommy Bridewell.
Same move.
Perfect move for Haslam.
Has he gone wide? Haslam?
No.
Yeah, no, he's all right, he's that, yeah.
So Leon Haslam really could pocket 20 points. He could pocket more because he's almost caught his teammate. So the two JG Speedfit Kawasaki's running first and second. Haslam tigering his way through to second place.
There's nowhere left for him, though. There is nowhere left. I don't think there's a passing opportunity. Can he get the drive onto the straight out of clearways and get Ellison before the line?
He's been doing that. He's been showing signs of that.
Correct.
So Ellison in the bright yellow helmet. The Cumbrian leads the way. Haslam, the Derbyshire star, right behind him as they drive for the finishing line now on the Speedfit Kawasaki's. It's going to be Ellison, surely. Oh, Haslam! Haslam caught him. 0.5 of a second across the line. What? Haslam wins it from Ellison. Bridewell third ahead of Cooper. What an astonishing finish. Leon Haslam sucks 25 points out of an extraordinary finish. He did get the power down and he was not going to let it go.
I thought he'd have a go, but I didn't think he was just close enough. Big effort from Haslam, and what a win for him.
Leon Haslam has just, wow, that was, he had to come through traffic and he produced just an extraordinary finale. He's trying to figure out whether he's won that. He and Ellison aren't sure. He's already given Ellison the thumbs up just to say what a great race. But James, look at the drive he got there. Oh, that was perfect.
And that wasn't even close. That was a bike's length.
Yeah, a bike's length, ladies and gentlemen, at that speed constitutes 0.05 of a second. So Leon Haslam has taken a sensational victory here in the first race at Brands Hatch, India, ahead of Ellison and Bridewell. Luke Mossey finishes in 5th place. Fastest lap, he'll start again from pole position in race 2. He finished ahead of Laverty, Hickman, O'Halloran. Shaky Byrne got the better of Dan Linford on the last lap, and he takes 9th place. So at least 7 precious points for the Be Wiser Ducati. And James Ellison shakes his head, but he can't feel too down about that, James. He's got to look to the bigger picture, I think. Congratulations to Tommy Bridewell there from Mark Smith-Halverson, the tall boss of the JG Speedfit Kawasaki squad. And Leon Haslam grabs, well, that was a hard-working victory brought about by blinding determination. Leon Haslam wins by 0.057 of a second from a long-time leader James Ellison. Tommy Bridewell, excellent result for Bennett Suzuki, their first podium of the year. He edges out Richard Cooper. Luke Mossey stays ahead of Michael Laverty. Peter Hickman means 3 of those JG Speedfit Kawasaki's in the top 7. Jason O'Halloran and Dan Linfoot for Honda Racing, Sandwich, Shane Burns, BYs and Ducati. Outside the top 10, 11th for the championship leader. Well, he was the championship leader, Christian Idden. He might still be. John Hopkins finishes 12th, just getting the better of Glenn Irwin. Stuart Easton, Hopkins' teammate, in 14th place ahead of Lee Jackson on the second build-based BMW. And just outside the point, good to see Howie May wearing smart after a nightmare of a weekend, getting the Smiths BMW home in 16th ahead of Seeley, Backlund, Zanotti and Winfield. The MCE British Superbike Championship in association with Pirelli, Leon Haslam and Christian Idden are level on 77 points. That's how important that victory was of Haslam's. Laverty in 3rd place on 66, 1 point ahead of Shaky Byrne in 4th. James Ellison 5th on 60, ahead of Richard Cooper on 54. And then just outside the top 6 now, we've got Jason O'Halloran, Peter Hickman, Luke Mossey and Tommy Bridewell improving to the top 10. Dan Linfoot in 11th place, Lee Jackson a point behind in 12th, ahead of Glenn Irwin. Jack Kennedy, sadly absent, finds himself level on 16 points with John Hopkins.
Thanks, Jack. I can tell you there are some very contrasting emotions down here in Parc Fermé. We're going to be getting the thoughts of the top 3 when we come back from the break. Promised you drama here at Brands Hatch, and we certainly got it there in race 1. An incredible finish between the 2 Kawasaki teammates. Leon Haslam taking the win ahead of James Ellison. And just behind that battle, in 3rd place was Tommy Bridewell. Tommy, great to see you back on the podium and back on form. And for a while there, you looked like you could challenge for the win yourself.
Yeah, what can I say? You know, firstly, just a massive thanks to the Bennett's Household Suzuki. You know, it's Suzuki's first podium for a while, I guess, now, but it just shows that the bike's still capable. I'm still capable after, you know, having such a tough year last year. I've got a team behind me that believe in me now, and for me it makes a world of difference. And I just felt good, I felt comfortable and was enjoying it. And at one point I thought, if I can get close enough, I felt really strong in a few areas I could challenge for the win, but just not quite, you know. But I would like to take the opportunity to dedicate this win to my nan who passed away the other day. So it's sort of tough times at the minute, you know, but and I'd also obviously like to, you know, on the up note, say get well soon to my very good teammate Ryuichi Kiyanari. So arigato gozaimasu. Hi.
Thanks, Tommy. Wise words.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
And in 2nd place there, James Ellison. James naturally disappointed, I think, with the way that the race finished there. You looked, it looked like you had it in the bag right till the final turn, James.
Yeah, I did all the hard work. Honestly, I'm trying to muster a smile, mate, but I'm so cheesed off for the minute. Yeah, I got into lead. Mossey passed me and I managed to get back past him again. Felt quite comfortable pulling a gap on. I think it was Tommy behind me. We got to 0.7. Just towards the end, I was having some real moments out of the last corner, just struggling to keep the bike in line. If I kept it flat out, if I kept the throttle wide open when he did have a moment, it just would tie itself in knots. So I kind of had to have a little roll every now and again. Didn't really do it every lap, but coming on to the last lap, did the same thing, and I'm kind of looking to the pit board, nodding my head, thought I got the win. Still had it pinned wide open, but because I'd had to roll at the beginning, I think Leon just got a bit of a draft on me and got me at the line, so absolutely spewing, mate. Just disappointed for my boys, you know, they deserved to win. Put a decent bike underneath me. Just got to try a couple of things with older tyres to try and fix that pumping problem.
So you reflect on it eventually as a great result and a great ride. Well done, James.
Cheers, mate. For say get well, Leon Jones as well, mate. Glad you're watching at home. Hope you're feeling better soon.
Thanks, James. And from despair to delight, really, for Leon Haslam. Leon, where did that come from?
Honestly, I don't know. All weekend we've been on the back foot. I knew I needed to get away with the boys at the beginning, and I was struggling. You know, I knew that later on in the race their pace would drop, and I knew mine would maintain because that's what we've been working with. But, you know, I saw my board with 3 laps to go, and I was in 3rd. I thought, I need to, you know, keep the rostrum or get 2nd, and I pushed and pushed and pushed, and I didn't expect the win, and I managed to just get that really good exit on James, and, you know, he'd done all the hard work all race, and, you know, I didn't expect him. You know, James is a man round here, so to beat him here is, you know, it's like I won the British Championship in that one race. It felt amazing.
Thanks, Leon. Well done.
Cheers, thanks.
Make any mistakes, you've little chance of catching him. However, I think that what we saw was James having a little bit of trouble with the rear, certainly out of clearways, but also Leon Hasler was so quick out of clearways. Yeah. Regularly he's dropping it really wide, setting it up and getting a run at the start and finishing it worked for him.
Exactly that, and to be honest with you, James, I didn't think, I thought, given all of that James Ellison would still be in his way, but he just drafted him to line. I'm not sure if, I mean, James got the bike was a little bit unstable on the drive towards the line. Yeah. He had to roll the throttle a little bit.
And that's all he took.
And at the same time, Leon had a brilliant slingshot, so yeah, 1-2 for the team, fantastic outcome.
He had a few moments throughout the race. James Ellison, Mark, are you making some changes to kind of address that?
Yeah, he's
himself off out there to get a word with them. This is how it looks in the championship after that first race of this weekend, 5th race of the season so far, and a 2nd win of the year for Leon Haslam. Actually moves him to the top of the championship, level on points with Christian Idden, but top by virtue of that 2nd win. Christian yet to win a race, of course, this season. So far, I'm sure it's only a matter of time. Michael Laverty there 3rd. Shane Byrne moves up to 4th ahead of James Ellison and Richard Cooper. Jason O'Halloran drops out to the top 6. Peter Hickman there in 8th place. So so far so good for you, Mark. 2 of your riders at the minute in showdown positions, and a 3rd one with a real chance too.
Yeah, I mean.